man arrested in Skerries after 3 people were hit by a car while on bail for serious gun charges. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Brief. Today is Monday, the 20th of July 2026. I'm Neil, and in the next few minutes I'll take you through the news that matters at home in Ireland, then across to Britain and out into the wider world. Everything you need to know before the day begins. Ireland. Let's begin here at home in Ireland. A man in his 20s has been arrested after a car was driven at pedestrians in Skerries, County Dublin, on Sunday. 3 people were hospitalised in the incident. What makes this particularly serious is that the suspect was on bail at the time, facing charges for serious gun offences. It raises urgent questions about how our bail system is working and whether conditions are tough enough to keep the public safe. Public safety in our communities depends on decisions made in our courts and by our policing authorities, and this case will test whether those systems are fit for purpose. On a different front, the Taoiseach has signalled he's leaning towards banning e-scooters entirely. Senior ministers are meeting today to discuss a formal plan of action. Right now, the debate is split. Safety campaigners want them off the streets, but commuters say an outright ban would be heavy-handed when what's needed is better regulation. The government is weighing both sides. Here at home, that means your daily commute could look very different within weeks, whether you rely on e-scooters to get to work or around your city, or you've been calling for them to be removed. Now to the question of Ireland's reputation abroad. A new investigation has found that government-backed education promotion events, held in 5-star hotels across Indian cities, are painting a far rosier picture of student life in Ireland than most students actually experience. International students have alleged they were sold what amounts to false promises about what studying here would be like. This matters because international education is a significant source of revenue for Ireland, and our reputation for fair dealing is on the line. For anyone in Dublin, Cork or Galway involved in education or working in universities, this hits at how Ireland is marketed globally, and that directly affects enrolment, jobs in the sector, and trust in our institutions. And finally from home, a new report has found that excessive compliance and regulatory costs are weighing heavily on Ireland's tech sector. Companies say they're spending so much time and money navigating regulations that it's hampering their ability to innovate and grow. This matters because the digital sector now employs 1 in every 8 workers across the country. It's become a cornerstone of our economy. The knock-on effect for Irish households is straightforward: fewer jobs and slower wage growth in a sector that has been a genuine engine for prosperity. UK. Now, across the Irish Sea to the UK. Andy Burnham is beginning his tenure as Prime Minister today, taking over a Labour government with ambitious plans on fossil fuels, utilities and housing. His cabinet will shape the next phase of UK governance, and that has direct consequences for how Britain works with Ireland on everything from trade to Northern Ireland's place in the Union. Why does this matter on this side of the Irish Sea? Because a new UK Prime Minister sets the tone for cross-border relations, Brexit implementation, and how the UK government handles its relationship with the EU and Ireland, including the sensitive politics of Northern Ireland within the power-sharing executive. But Burnham is inheriting a crisis. Thames Water, the UK's largest water company, is on the brink of collapse under billions of pounds of debt. The incoming government is considering nationalisation, but creditors are preparing legal challenges that could drag on for years. It's a critical infrastructure failure that will demand immediate action. Closer to home, decisions about how UK water companies are run can affect environmental standards and water quality in areas along the Irish border. So how Burnham resolves this will be watched carefully on this side of the Irish Sea. And in Northern Ireland, the Ulster Unionist Party has announced an independent review into the party itself, following the conviction last week of former leader Jeffrey Donaldson on 18 counts of sexual abuse. Donaldson was a towering figure in UUP politics for nearly 2 decades, and this conviction is a seismic moment for the party. This directly affects Northern Ireland's political landscape. The UUP is a crucial voice in the power-sharing executive at Stormont, and when any major party faces a leadership crisis of this scale, it can ripple through the entire cross-community governance structure. World. And finally, out into the wider world. Russia has launched a major ballistic missile and drone assault on Ukrainian cities. At least 8 people have been killed and dozens injured in the attack. Ukraine continues to strike back at Russian infrastructure, but the overall trajectory is grimly clear. The conflict is escalating once again. For Ireland, this matters because the EU and Ireland have backed Ukraine since day one. The conflict shapes EU security policy, it affects energy supplies through European markets, and it directly influences how Ireland positions itself on the international stage when it comes to humanitarian principles and standing with democracies under attack. In Iraq, a US military service member has been killed and another wounded in an Iranian attack. This is the 3rd American death in the region in as many days, marking a sharp escalation in US-Iran tensions. And the tensions are being felt far beyond the Middle East. Why does this matter on this side of the Irish Sea? Because deepening US-Iran conflict threatens global stability, affects oil markets, which directly impacts your fuel prices here in Ireland, and shapes broader US foreign policy that influences European security and international trade relationships. Speaking of oil, Brent crude has now topped $90 per barrel. That surge is being driven by escalating military strikes between the US and Iran in the Middle East. The conflict is creating real energy market volatility, and that volatility is rippling through the global economy. And the Irish angle? Higher oil prices directly increase fuel and heating costs for Irish consumers and businesses, affecting how much you pay when you fill up, how much your heating bill climbs come winter, and ultimately inflation across the economy. A lot moving this morning. Tensions abroad, safety questions at home, and big decisions to come on transport and tech. And that's the morning brief for today. Whatever the day brings, take it steady. I'm Neil. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Until then, look after yourself. The deterioration of Russia's economic position has direct implications for European security and energy stability, factors that shape the broader geopolitical landscape affecting every EU member state. A lot moving this morning. Major infrastructure decisions here at home, significant shifts in UK policy, and serious military escalation abroad alongside economic strain and travel chaos across Europe. And that's the morning brief for today. Whatever the day brings, take it steady. I'm Neil. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Until then, look after yourself.